Greetings once again, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here, and welcome to another heart-wrenching and controversial episode of the So You Want to Be an Imagineer historical retrospective, this time covering the often forgotten about Season 3. In essence, Season 3 is kind of like the awkward preteen years of So You Want to Be an Imagineer. The game's not really a kid anymore because we've kind of established ourselves at this point, but it's far from maturity because we've yet to establish most of the key concepts that's going to give the game the staying power that it now has. So I'm just going to get right down to it. The person that kind of taints this whole season is a judge by the name of Light Tech. I don't want to judge Light Tech too harshly as a person, but he did kind of derail this whole process a little bit, and I'll get way into that. Get ready for some really juicy info, people, because I'm about to reveal some behind-the-scenes drama that's never come to light until now. So hold on to your hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride on the interwebs. Yeehaw! So, Season 1's judging lineup was myself, Disney Parks fan, who actually created the game in the first place. I don't take credit for creating the game, by the way. I just take credit for giving the game the staying power that it's had. Disney Parks fan, if you're still around at all, you by all means deserve total credit for coming up with the actual game of So You Want to Be an Imagineer. But the judging that Season 1 was me, him, and then Jag FKB, who went on to win Season 2. Season 2, Jag left to be a player, like I said, and so we had to get another judge. That judge was Light Tech. Now, Light Tech is sort of a really interesting story because throughout his whole time judging, he kept making these really hard claims that he actually worked in the theme park, and yeah. So the big thing with Light Tech was realism. He was all about realism. He kept claiming, like, look guys, I actually work closely with real Imagineers, so I know how this stuff kind of goes down. And to tell you the truth, the game actually doesn't really involve very much realism. I mean, sure, when you get down to it, a project really is that much better if you can actually imagine it being realistic to achieve in real life. But, I mean, look at something like Mere Disneyland from Season 8. Do you think that that would ever actually, exist? No! I mean, it's just a complete fantasy, but that's why the game's so fun, in my opinion. It's not just designing rides that are like guaranteed to actually, or just something that would realistically happen. Really, I feel like the main fun of playing the game is coming up with ideas that, even though it would be awesome to see, probably in all realism aren't really going to see the light of day anytime soon. So Season 1 and 2 were good enough successes to carry on with a third season. At this point, we really had no idea it was going to get to 10 seasons. But Disney Parks fan had dropped out of being a judge due to personal scheduling conflicts, so that left me and Light Tech to come up with the majority of the projects for Season 3. And when it comes to the players in Season 3, it really came down to two players. There was Basket Buddy, who of course is pretty much the main star of the game at this point, considering he was the big power player who got blindsided in Season 1, and he made it all the way to the game in Season 2, so he at this point is known as a big force in this game. Lo and behold, he gets to the final two again, against the other star player of this game, or this season, I mean, Mad About Mickey. From day one, both me and Light Tech were pretty much in love with Mad About Mickey as a player. She just exhibited the kind of qualities that someone like a Disney Freak or Basket Buddy exhibit. Just total attention to detail, total attention to realism and originality at the same time, and also just a really good attitude, and that's something that can really get you a long way in this game, especially when it came down to the seasons that were split up into teams, as you'll see later. But Mad About Mickey ended up being the winner. There's not really a whole lot to say about her in the grand scheme of things. I'll say more about her when it comes to Season 8, and a whole big fallout regarding her in the game that, again, I feel way personally responsible for. Just wait until Season 8, guys. I mean, Season 8, I'm just going to be doing just a ton of apologizing. That might as well just be called Tiki's Big Long Apology Video. Now, the first project I actually remember something about, although this is the one creative project this season that I can really pinpoint. I believe the project was to come up with another A or B ticket attraction for Main Street specifically. And we actually got some really interesting ideas here. The one that sticks out in my mind the most, although I hate to say it, but I don't even remember who did it, was a project where someone turned the fire station into kind of a... I mean, it was a shooting gallery, but it was, I don't know, it was just really creative because it used fire hoses and... I mean, on one hand, you can argue that turning the fire station into an attraction is a little bit sacrilegious, considering Walt's apartment is right up there, but, I mean, you know, as long as you don't touch the apartment itself, I really don't see a problem with it. And it seemed like a creative way to get just a little more activity into Main Street. So the person who ends up going out first in Season 3 is none other than our resident underdog Coaster Freak. And this kind of started a long line of him being eliminated early on in the season. Again, not a lot to really say. If I remember correctly, I think he just got caught up on going on a trip or something like that. And people going on vacation is really kind of one of the things that gets in the way of the game. It's the cause for a lot of eliminations. And then the second person eliminated is a person called Disney Fan number 1, I think. And again, this is kind of a person like Bernstein from Season 2, or the first two people eliminated from Season 1, Rachel and Mal 2. You know, just someone who played the game once, never really made a dent in it, never really made a dent in the community in general. But hey, you know, thanks for playing, Disney Fan number 1, whoever you are, if you're watching this. Season 2's big underdog, Disney Lover Forever, gets eliminated in 5th place in Season 3. You know, kind of what I loved about Disney Lover Forever in the first season he was on was really the fact that he wasn't afraid to talk back to me, he wasn't afraid to challenge me on certain issues, and just for future reference, people, I kind of love that. I love when you're able to, you know, just own your game like that. And I could tell Disney Lover Forever had a really spunky personality. And I mean, I also really like, I must point out that I really like the player Hack 2112 for the same reason, and you all know about Hack. But I don't know, Season 3 Disney Lover Forever was just sort of a little more toned down, a little quieter, and in the end he just kind of got eliminated for not really standing out, so that's all there is to say about that. So the final 4 of this season comes down to the aforementioned Basket Buddy and Mad About Mickey, who end up being the inevitable final 2, which honestly, I mean, pretty much anyone and their mother could have seen that final 2 coming from a mile away. That's one of the things I really don't like about this season, is that I mean, I don't want to say the other people weren't trying, because that's really not the case, but I just think at the time there were just a lot of other things going on for people. The game hadn't really established itself yet, so people weren't taking it as seriously as they do now. People weren't really having as much fun with it. It was still in its growing pains. So, Mad About Mickey's a terrific winner. It was just really predictable that it would get down to her and Basket Buddy at the end. But the other 2 people in the final 4 that I guess I should mention are, 4th place was Roman Arms, who goes on to win Season 5, and I'll get to him more later. He was kind of the resident underdog this season. His character was almost a sequel to Disney Lover Forever in that he had the whole, you know, he was a foreign contestant who kind of had a cultural barrier to get through. He ends up doing some pretty solid projects. And then 3rd place is a person by the name of SPCMT, I think, and I just always assume that's an abbreviation for Space Mountain. This guy is one of the weird, like, things about the game is that he's by far the most quiet person to ever have made a Final 3, and I don't I mean, he had decent enough projects, I guess. He was really kind of the definition of a person who was just kind of there. He never really stood out all that much. I don't know. It's just interesting. It's just usually when you make the final three, you're a big character like a Costa Freak or a Disney Lover Forever. But, I don't know. Again, another reason why Season 3 is just not really my favorite is that the characters just didn't really stand out all that much. I'm sorry, Space Mountain or SPCMT or however you want to say your name, if you're watching this. I mean, I'm sure you're a great guy. It's just the level of competition in Season 3 just was not there. But now I want to finally get into the main controversy of Season 3, and that was the rivalry between Light Tech and Basket Buddy. Now, Light Tech was a judge who would really get on people's nerves, and he would just call them out for really weird things. He was all into if a project they were making could actually fit into the location. He got into several fights with contestants throughout the season about that particular subject. But oddly enough, the thing about Basket Buddy that really got under Light Tech's skin was the length of Basket Buddy's projects. And Light Tech would always be telling me over private message, he'd always be complaining about, oh, what the hell is up with this guy? He's just doing these novels for projects, and it's just way too long, and blah, blah, blah. And, I don't know. I mean, to a certain extent, I guess I get his point. I mean, a Basket Buddy project. It's like, if you're gonna sit down and read a Basket Buddy project, I mean, the dude writes frickin' novels when he does projects, and that's just part of his style. But that should never be something that's criticized or taken away from in the game. I mean, I always stress detail, detail, detail. Detail is really important. If most of the great players in this game are players who excel at putting detail into their projects. Not all of them. There's certainly other great attributes you can have as a player, but detail is really the main one. So when it got down to the final project, and once again, I swear to you guys, Season 4, I'm actually going to have a lot more to say about the projects. But once again, I don't even remember what the final project in Season 3 even was. But what I do remember was both Mad About Mickey and Basket Buddy had really solid work, really solid projects they came up with. The final two really wasn't that bad. I mean, it was a good final two, considering you had the new power player versus the old power player. And the only thing is, pretty much immediately after Basket Buddy submitted his project, Light Tech just wrote it off. He's just like, that's too long, I'm not reading this, it needs to be more concise. So, in the end, Light Tech had a big call in making Mad About Mickey the winner. I'm not saying I wouldn't have made Mad About Mickey the winner. She was clearly the dominating force in this season. She clearly deserved to win. I think Season 3, dare I say, was probably maybe the season Basket Buddy was trying the least? I don't know. I hate to make a claim like that, but it just, like I said, Season 3 in general, it seemed like everyone kind of wasn't as into it as much as they could have been. But that right there really taints the season for me. I think Mad About Mickey would have won regardless, even if I was just the only judge. But just the fact that Light Tech was just so quick to write off Basket Buddy as a potential winner, to the point where, it was basically a done deal. It was a done deal, and there was no competition behind that final two. So, yeah, in spite of having a really solid winner in the form of Mad About Mickey, there's just a lot of things that happened during Season 3, and just a lot of elements of it that just didn't sit right with me. I mean, it was just one of those seasons that just did not come together. Like, the whole way through, it just felt like a chore to get through. And to top it all off, the season kind of ended with Light Tech making this big public announcement about how he was actually not a real-life Imagineer and how he'd been kind of putting on an act the whole time. And then he just disappeared off the face of the internet. or so I assume. And I mean, Light Tech, you're really not a bad guy, and if you're watching this at all, I kind of doubt you are, but I mean, I think you did have your heart in the right place. I think you were really extremely passionate about this game, and I do respect that. It's just there were a lot of things with him that just rubbed me the wrong way, rubbed other people the wrong way. But I just want to just stress the fact that I am not trying to put down his character. I'm just kind of relaying how he sort of affected this season. And so after that, he just left me with the keys to the kingdom, and I basically had one shot to salvage the game because Season 3 had ended up being such a mess in spite of the solid winner. And I really do want to stress that I love Mad About Mickey as a winner, and none of this has to do with her. I mean, she is the most solid thing about this whole season. But yeah, I had one chance to redeem the game, and so Season 4 happened, and we'll get to that when we get to that, but you longtime fans should know that it was a success, so that should be a fun one. I might even have to split it up into 2 parts. Alright, well until then, I'll see you guys later.